Yo, what's up everyone? So look, I've been sitting with Dragon's Dogma 2 for a minute now. And honestly, this game is wild. Like, it's not going to be for everyone. But if you're into action RPGs, you need to at least understand what makes it tick. Now, I know a lot of you watched it drop last year and maybe heard the mixed reviews, right? But here's the thing, it's December 2025 now. Capcom's still dropping patches and the game runs so much better than launch. So today, I'm breaking down what works, what doesn't, and whether you should actually spend your money on this thing. Let's get into it. First thing first, the combat. This is where Dragon's Dogma 2 absolutely shines, and honestly, it might be the best part of the game. Here's what sets it apart from every other RPG you've played recently. You know how in Elden Ring or Baldur's Gate 3 or basically every Souls-like, the game is all about dodging and iframe windows and timing? Dragon's Dogma 2 is not like that at all. It's actually the opposite. The game punishes you way more for getting hit. Like if you take damage, real damage, your maximum health drops. Not temporarily, actually drops. And you can't just dodge roll your way out of everything. You have to think, you have to plan, you have to actually prepare before you go into a fight. This is where team composition becomes absolutely crucial. You can't just throw on whatever armor looks cool and tank through everything. You need a balanced party. You need frontliners to hold aggro, you need damage dealers in the back, and here's the wild part, you need a mage. Like, a mage is almost essential because healing is incredibly limited in this game. There's no health items you can chug mid-combat. The only reliable way to get healed is through spells. And because of this, every fight feels like a mini puzzle. You're thinking about where to position yourself, how to support your pawns, those are for AI teammates, and how to exploit the environment. Yeah, the environment. You can knock down boulders on enemies, destroy bridge supports to trap them, use siege ballista against the big guys. It's actually tactical. The vocations, that's what they call the classes, they're really well balanced too. Fighter, ranger, mage, thief, warrior, mystic, spearhand, each one plays completely different, and you can switch between them whenever you want. So if you're getting destroyed with one build, you can just try something else. That flexibility is insane. Combat feels crunchy, it feels weighty. When you hit something, you feel it. Special moves have this satisfying feedback to them. It's great. Okay, so the combat is amazing. What about the world? What about just being in the game? Dragon's Dogma 2's open world is beautiful, but, and I'm gonna be real with you, it's also frustrating in some ways. The good part, it feels alive in a way a lot of open worlds don't. Monsters spawn everywhere. Like you could be chilling in a town and suddenly a drake flies in, or you're walking up a mountain and a giant cyclops just appears. There's this constant sense of danger that actually makes exploring feel risky. You're never totally safe, and that's kind of cool. The world design itself is gorgeous. Forests, mountains, fishing villages, it's all detailed and worth exploring. And here's the thing, the game doesn't hold your hand. There's no waypoint system telling you exactly where to go. You get a vague direction, and you have to figure it out yourself. For some people, this is incredible. For others, it's annoying as hell. Now, the bad part, fast travel. Oh man, the fast travel system is weird. You can only fast travel to specific stones called rift stones, and you have to walk to them, and they're not everywhere. So sometimes you've got to trek across the entire map to get somewhere, and it takes forever. There's no horse either, so you're just running. That's probably the biggest design frustration with this game. If you're the type of person who likes to get from point A to point B without all the walking in between, you're gonna struggle with Dragon's Dogma 2. But, and this is important, the game seems to know this about itself. A lot of the NPCs have their own schedules. People live their lives. Quests have genuine consequences. Your choices matter in ways that feel different from other RPGs. So the slower pacing kind of works with the overall vibe. It's not perfect, but it's interesting.
So, the story. This is where we need to have an honest conversation. Dragon's Dogma 2's story is not great. It's not. The plot is kind of generic fantasy stuff. You're the Horizon, there's a dragon, blah blah blah. The writing is fine. It's serviceable. Nothing amazing, but it gets the job done. The NPC dialogue can be repetitive. Like you'll hear the same lines over and over. NPCs have personality quirks, but they can get annoying quick. And there are some truly bizarre design choices in the story. Like, without spoiling anything, the main narrative moves really fast, like suspiciously fast. You think you've got this whole quest lined up, and then boom, it's done. Now, this is a Capcom game, right? Directed by Hideaki Itsuno, the Devil May Cry guy. And like, they clearly cared more about the combat and the gameplay mechanics than telling this deep, intricate story. And honestly, that's okay. Not every game needs to be narrative-driven. The story is there to justify the combat encounters and to give context to what you're doing. And for that, it works. It's just not winning any writing awards. Your pawns, your AI teammates, they're actually pretty cool though. They learn from your gameplay style. They remember things about the world, they'll call out tactics. It's weird because your main pawn can feel like an actual character, even though they're controlled by AI. The community seems split on the story, but most people agree it's the weakest part of the game. Just go in expecting some decent fantasy adventure stuff, not some mind-blowing narrative.
Alright, so how does progression actually work? Leveling is straightforward. You kill stuff, you get experience, you level up. Your base stats go up. Pretty linear, nothing crazy. The vocation you're in when you level up influences which stats grow. So if you're a fighter and level up, you're going to get different stat boosts than if you're a ranger. And here's a cool thing. All your pawns level up with you. You have your main pawn that travels with you constantly, and then you can recruit 2 more pawns from the rift. That's like a multiplayer system where you can use other players' pawns. You can filter them by class, by level, by all kinds of stuff. So you can actually customize your full party to match your playstyle. Gear is important. Armor matters. You can't just YOLO through the game ignoring equipment. And here's where it gets interesting. Some armor pieces have weird perks or downsides. Like, you might get better stats, but your movement is slower. It forces you to think about trade-offs. Loot drops are okay. Sometimes you get good stuff, sometimes you don't. It's not like Diablo where you're farming for perfect gear rolls. It's more just, here's some equipment, try it out. The progression system doesn't do anything revolutionary, but it's solid. It works. You're constantly getting small upgrades that make you feel stronger, and that's all you really need from a progression system. Oh, and one more thing. The game has this cool mechanic where if you're way over-leveled for an area, it gets boring fast. The game kind of acknowledges this, so there's some incentive to tackle challenges closer to your level. It's a small thing, but it shows the designers were thinking about pacing.
Dragon's Dogma 2 had a rocky launch. Frame rate dips, performance issues, weird bugs. The fast travel system was even worse at launch. It was kind of a mess, not going to sugarcoat it. But here's the good news. We're in December 2025 now, and Capcom has been consistently patching this game. I'm talking patch 13 of the year. They just dropped one recently too. Performance has improved massively. Stability is way better. The game runs solid now on PS5, Xbox Series X. PC version? That's where it looks best, obviously. If you're getting PS5 Pro, it even has some specific optimizations for that hardware now. That said, there are still some performance dips in urban areas, cities and towns. You might dip to like 30, 40 FPS in those areas, but that's it. It's not like the game is unplayable. And honestly, once you leave the cities, performance is rock solid. There are still some weird quirks with the camera system. Lock-on isn't available for melee classes, so you're managing the camera yourself. It takes getting used to, but it's not broken, just different. The game doesn't have manual saves in the traditional sense either. It's not Bethesda where you can quick save before every decision. You've got autosaves, so if you mess up a side quest, you're kind of stuck with it. Some people love that, some people hate it. It's definitely a design choice. But overall, if you were worried about the technical state of this game, that's less of a concern now than it was at launch. Capcom has clearly committed to supporting it.
Alright, so here's the real question. Who should actually buy Dragon's Dogma 2? If you're into action RPGs and you want something that feels different from Souls-likes and Baldur's Gate 3, yeah, you should at least try it. The combat is unique enough that it's worth experiencing. If you love games that don't hold your hand and you're cool with exploring without quest markers and waypoints, this is for you. If you care deeply about narrative and character writing and you want a story that's going to blow your mind, probably skip this one. The story is fine, it's just not the focus. If you hate slow traversal and want everything to be fast and convenient, the fast travel system is gonna drive you crazy. The game isn't perfect. It's got weird design choices, some frustrations, and it won't appeal to everyone, but it's genuinely unique. In 2025, when a lot of games feel like they're copying each other, Dragon's Dogma 2 feels like its own thing, and that counts for something. The combat is genuinely some of the best action combat I've experienced in an RPG. The world is beautiful and feels alive. The progression keeps you engaged. And yeah, there are quirks and issues, but nothing that makes the game unplayable. My verdict? If you're watching this and you're on the fence, grab it. The worst that happens is you play 10 hours and realize it's not for you. The best case, you fall in love with the combat and you're sinking 100 hours into character creation and dragon slaying. Capcom is still supporting it, the community is still active, and there's plenty of content to dig into. In 2025, it's absolutely worth checking out. All right, that's what I've got for you today. If this review helped you decide, drop a like. If you've got opinions about Dragon's Dogma 2, comment down below. I'm genuinely curious what you all think about this game. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.